It's Crispy. Since the last video, we've had so many questions about how we marketed our film to the point where it made a decent amount of money in such a short space of time. How much digital marketing did we do? Did we use social media to our advantage? What kind of ads did we run? Things like that. So I'm going to go through exactly what our marketing strategy looked like, the results we got from those said campaigns, and other factors that we think may have played a part. I want to preface by saying this was the first time we not only made a feature film, but it was also the first time we tackled the task of marketing one. Needless to say, we don't necessarily think we have the secret formula, but worth sharing exactly what we did to give an idea on what could possibly work for others. From the beginning, we did have a rough idea how we were going to tackle this from a marketing point of view. Both Dave and I happen to have a bit of experience in the marketing and branding world previously. Dave had worked for multiple advertising agencies over the years and had a lot of experience managing brands and their campaigns. I worked in talent management, so I was always working on marketing actors to get casting directors and producers to notice them. That same company also ran an acting school, and I was in charge of branding and marketing for the studio, which gave me a little bit of experience with social media marketing. For our movie Moorehouse Road, we had to get a few things down first. A social media presence, especially a Facebook page, because that's where you do a lot of the ad management. A web page which hosted all the various links and news to do with the film, including the trailer, where it was screening, where it was streaming, stuff like that. The basics like a poster for the film, as well as various trailers. Theatrical one for a longer viewing, as well as many cut downs for those quick little jumpy social media clips. Moorehouse Road went live just at the end of 2022. For the month of December 2022, we made $11. However, the first 2 months of 2023 is where we sort of really start to count our revenue. The first 2 months of 2023, we made $12,188. Then we dropped to $953 for the third month. At this stage, it was all organic, no paid promotions. All that we had in place was the above mentioned webpage, poster, trailer, as well as the TUBI listing itself, which also featured the theatrical trailer. It was at this point, around the start of April, we decided to run our first paid campaign to see if we could try and reach those numbers again. There are so many tutorials out there on YouTube about Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising, how to create an ad, how to boost an ad, things like that. I'm not going to go into full detail here on how to do that because there are heaps of much more thorough tutorials out there. So I suggest checking a few of those out if it's something that you're not 100% familiar with yet. The good thing about using Facebook to market your film is that the advertising and for Facebook and Instagram are linked together, assuming that you have a Instagram page and a Facebook page that are linked together, which is pretty easy to do. For us, we did it through our production company, CHRAVE. It's really cool because you just do it once through Facebook and by default it creates the Instagram versions of those same ads. There's even warnings about things like this video may not work well on Instagram for this reason, consider using a different video. And it gives you all the previews so you can see how it'll look on Instagram, Messenger, things like that. For our ad objective, we went with website visitors. This way we use the TUBI link to direct people straight from our ad to the movie. Creating the ad is pretty straightforward. You choose the budget, the time frame, as well as the media you want to use. And for our ad, we used a 30-second cut of the trailer. We ran this ad for 2 months, finishing at the end of May 2023. We spent $300, reached 36,217 accounts, and that resulted in 3,728 link clicks. Checking Film Hub, April had climbed to $1,612 for the month, and May was $1,130. It was good to get back into 4 digits, but still nothing really compared to those first 2 months, even though we were running paid ads. The next few months, numbers were steady, sort of just up and down, the occasional spike. And since we were now on several streaming platforms, we thought it would be a good idea to go down the path of press to try and promote the film. We reached out to a few news outlets and we managed to get a couple articles made. My favorite one is this one, I Sold My House to Make a Movie, where I talk about how I owned a house at the time and decided that making a film was more important than paying a mortgage. So to be able to invest in the film and not be tied down financially, I sold my house. I know that's going to sound really crazy to some people, but honestly, no regrets. Since October was approaching, we thought it would be a good idea to run another paid ad for spooky season. Our film being a mystery thriller, we thought this would be a good opportunity in terms of timing. This time, in addition to Facebook and Instagram, we also added a YouTube campaign to that. Once again, we used Facebook to create the ads for Facebook and Instagram, this time using a slightly different trailer so it didn't feel too repetitive. It's here I'd like to point out that with our advertising, we would mention the fact that this was a mystery thriller set in Outback Australia, which people who are not from Australia or who have never been here might find that a bit more intriguing or interesting, especially since Australia seems to have this reputation in other countries of being a scary or dangerous place to visit.
Last year a croc was found there, so I'd personally give it a miss.
Yeah, let's maybe skip that one.
Or it's on a lot of people's bucket list to visit here at least once. I think capitalizing on this niche could have possibly helped hook international audiences' attention. So this social media campaign ran from the 1st of October to the 31st of December 2023. We spent $350, reached 967,643 accounts, and resulted in 215,582 link clicks. At the same time, we ran 2 YouTube ads. One of those ads is called International Trailer, and it's on our YouTube channel if you want to check that out. We spent $308. We received 87,000 impressions, 38,000 views, and 152 link clicks. The second YouTube ad was titled Alternate Trailer, also on our YouTube channel, spending $585, receiving 47,000 impressions, 22,000 views, and 40 link clicks. I admit the numbers of link clicks are relatively low considering. However, data shows that most of these ads were being watched on a mobile phone, and I would say that most people watch the movie on TV. So it's possible they may have seen the ad on their mobile and then decided to watch the film on TV when it was time to sit down and decide to watch something. I know I personally, if I see a trailer for a movie I really like on a social media, I don't want to forget what it is, so I'll screenshot it. So then later that night, if I'm on TUBI or Prime or wherever, I can just go, what was that film called again? There it is. After our spooky season campaign ended, we checked back with Film Hub, and November did creep significantly higher than the recent months before it. Since then, we've continued to make most of our money organically on TUBI. This year started somewhat low, with February reaching $600, but then March we crept back to $2,100, and this was our first 4-digit month since November. And we haven't run any ads since the October to December campaign. So that's what we did with our online advertising. However, there are a few other details that we think could have played a part in getting our film seen to the point where it made a decent amount of cash. Our poster/artwork. Ours is really simple. It's a freeze frame from the film itself, which I feel very accurately represents the film's tone, a darkness mixed with a rural setting, with a figure lurking just a little bit in the distance. What I like about it is that it's quite simple. It's not very complicated at all. It's just a simple image, but just enough of a contrast. When you're looking at posters on a screen with heaps of little posters next to each other, I find the ones that jump out at me are ones of just one clean image, as opposed to the posters where there's so much going on in the one poster. Our sponsored trailers were about 30 to 40 seconds long. I wanted to make sure that they were short, snappy, quickly paced, to the point, show enough without showing too much to get an overall idea on what type of film this is. And just remember, when doing an ad on social media, 5 seconds is a long time. And that's one thing that I learned in talent management. The amount of actors with their show reels who would send show reels for submissions would have so much of an introduction before they get to the point. And when you're competing with hundreds of thousands of other products, you've got to make sure that you manage to get the audience's attention in 5 seconds. If it's 10 seconds in and you haven't even really got to the point yet, that's too long. Even the biggest products in the world only have commercials that are like 30 seconds long. Press and social media. I find social media can sometimes be a bit overwhelming when you have the pressure of posting regularly and always having something new and fresh. But I think for your film and your production company, it's always good to have some kind of regular engagement, regular clips, photos, behind the scenes, trailers, fun facts and trivia about your production, anything that might just appeal to somebody. That's all for today, but before we leave, I just want to say a huge thank you. Last week we shared that first video about making this film and its journey into finding victories on the streaming space, and we got so many comments with people saying congratulations and how this was inspiring to them, and that is just honestly the best possible response we could get. We are so grateful for those well wishes and words of congratulations, and we really appreciate that. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.